Hello and welcome to my first Battle School video on blackborder.com. I'm going to be playing Tempest Steel, as you can see here, against Red Deck Wins, played by UK former national champion, level 4 pro, and blackborder.com writer Jonathan Randall. The list I'm using here is a fairly standard version of Tempest Steel. It's a very aggressive version. It runs a lot of 0 drops, Ornithopters, Nanites, and the full 4 Mox Opal. It's the list that won Japanese nationals, and yeah, we're going to try and get some Red Deck wins and see what goes on. This is a pretty strong version of the deck. There were versions that were running blue before for preordains and the like, but they generally don't seem to be all that consistent, and having things like contested warzone in the deck really allows you to get some explosive draws. Sideboard here, you might see a little bit of that. Got core firewalkers obviously for the red decks. Mental missteps should also help against aggressive decks, where you really just need to allow yourself to get Tempest Steel down and not be dead. And Spell Sky should also be useful in that matchup, and useful for a fair few other matchups as well. It's a card I'm really starting to like in Tempest Steel. It does a lot of jobs quite well. Okay, let's 6 that much, and let's get started. Okay, when you roll. And we've got an opening hand. Let's have a look. We've got... This is quite a dangerous opening hand, really. We've got a pair of Ornithopters, which are kind of weak in this matchup. They don't do anything on their own, obviously. They don't even block all that profitably against any of their guys. And without a Steel Overseer or Tempest Steel, they are pretty much blank. We've got no play until turn 2, which would probably be the Steel Overseer. I think, though, with a deck like this, it doesn't mulligan particularly well. So we're going to hope to draw into... I was thinking I want to draw into Tempest Steel pretty much always, but I can't even cast it with this. Difficult decision. I'm going to mulligan this. I don't actually see the hand doing anything. Whereas this hand is a lot better. It's much more explosive. We've got turn 1 Mox Opal, Memnite, Ornithopter, Memnite, Mox Opal, Contested Warzone, and a Glinthawk Idol, and then a follow-up Porcelain Legionnaire. This is a much better hand. So already I've misplayed. I didn't play the Memnite first to get a giant Memnite. It's always the correct play to play the Memnite first. Right. Depending on the version of the red deck he's playing, there can be a lot of differences in the matchup. There's Goblins in this standard red deck wins. Him not having a 1-drop is always a good sign, I think. Pretty much. It's going to be the... most scary thing you can see on turn 1 is Grim Lavamancer from regular red deck wins, or Spikeshot Elder from Goblins. Okay, so we've got a Bolt, that seems fine. Volt Scourge is a card you really quite value in this matchup. The lifelink is incredibly important, and especially with Tempered Steel out, you want to try and keep them alive at all costs and just get them bashing in. That's why I play Porcelain Legionnaire out there for the most part, because I'd rather remove the spent on something that isn't a Volt Scourge. Legionnaire is in theory good because it blocks everything in their deck, but a lot of the time it just dies to pretty much everything. and it costs you 2 life at the same time. And this is Ornithopter being a complete blank, as you'd expect. And I lose my contested war then. Sad times. It's okay. So letting the Warzone game was fine there because I'll get it back next turn. I was probably going to cast Volt Scourge anyway. Like worst comes to worst, I just cast it off the Mox Oak then draw a line that time. And basically, you're trying to put a quick stock on as possible. Your deck's faster than his deck, but creatures are generally weaker in a one-on-one fight without one of the big boosting cards. Right on time. Sadly, can't cast it, which is a shame. So it's looking like we're going to just go bashing with everything. So he's on the spot maybe. Bolter. That seems fair. So it's quite a high priority target, even more important than the Queenswalk Idol. And he takes a nice chunk of damage. Guy's still not drawing land, which is definitely good for us, and still no mana to cast Pulse yet. So let's yeah, I can't count. Just do that because I can. And Searing Gaze, that makes sense. I'm going for the Inkmoth Nexus, I'm not quite sure. Well, I guess it's better than keeping nothing. Keeps me off extra mana for war zones with the light next turn. But it's looking pretty certain I'm winning this. Yeah. Wasn't a particularly close match. Okay, so let's have a look at the sideboard in here. I don't like Dispatch in this matchup. It's theoretically good against Grim Mancers and the like, but you need 3 artifacts for it to do anything, and a lot of the time you're only trading off cards, or he'll be trying to at least trade off cards, so you can end up being a deck in your hand a lot of the time. It's good in the draws where you explode out on turn 1, but a lot of the time it can be dead. So I tend to take it out. You theoretically want them to deal with Grim Mancers and the like, but then Mental Misstep does the same job more consistently. And Spellskite again also protects your other guys from stuff like the Monster Spike Elder. And obviously we want 4 core Firewalkers in there. Firewalkers are pretty obviously good against red. The question is what to take out for all these cards then. And I think generally because we're bringing in 2s, we want to take out some of our more expensive cards. Boys of Legion costs the most and probably does the least out of all the things I have. And another one I'm not a huge fan of is Signal Pest. It's an absolutely atrocious blocker, and while it can help some of your better draws, it doesn't do it as well as some of the 0 casting cost guys. So you should take out a pair of them as well. And yeah, that's all of it. Let's get onto the sample sideboard games. Okay, we have a fairly interesting hand here. It's a little heavy on the mana, but it has turn 1 Glint Hawk, potentially turn 2 casting cost creature and Mox Opal, or a turn 3 Tempest Steel depending on what I draw. I don't think I'm going to mulligan this. Tempest Steel is just so huge, you tend to keep most hands with it in. And then there's mulliganing to 5, which is kind of fun. And no 1-drops. Excellent. Okay, so Mox Opal. Mono Glint Hawk. And now what another 0 cost artifact, please. So 2 cost would be fine as well. Ideally, you wouldn't want to have to play out the Mox Opal, but the chances of getting screwed over by a Bolt or the like taking out a Mem Knight would just way too high. It's way too dangerous to not play out the Mox Opal, even though it would make him more likely to kill the Mem Knights sooner rather than later. We'd rather have him kill the Hawk than Mem Knight because otherwise Tempest Steel is not likely to fall for anyway. So we don't really get to cast anything. The question becomes whether we play Plains out so we can definitely have Tempest Steel next turn, or we play Contested Warzone out and get him for extra damage. It's kind of like Bushwhacker and